Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to the third time that I have tried to record this video without constant noise in the background where you couldn't even hear my voice. So in the last video we set down the markers. I went over the mods and I set down the markers, all the primary areas, went over the little scenario that I'm doing. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to kind of put down, we're going to do this step by step. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to go over Rick and the phone call. And we said that Rick's home is right here. So the very first thing I need to do is figure out who Rick is going to be, which they don't have a automatic press thing here, which I do have him saved because I kind of did this before. So I'm going to set him down, take a drink of the dew. Okay, and one thing you might want to do, I do this just because I don't like when the game crashes a lot, and the game crashes quite often. Well, it doesn't really crash, but something happens, and yeah, it just messes the whole thing up. So I have autosave set on 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes it's going to do it. I also have environmental sounds off, so I can't hear the birds chirping, can't hear the water and stuff like that. Castle. Hey, it's a rook. Anyway, this is going to be James. Now, one thing about James is we're going to double click on him and we're going to set down his name as his variable name is going to be James. This is what we're going to call on anything that we're going to do with him. Presence is good. Identity. We want his name to be James. I don't know. What should his last name be? Looking around the room, trying to find an idea. James Scorpy. I have a Scorpion Zippo. His face, you can change these if you want. Let's see, Geekus. I'm not sure. Let's see, yeah, this is just a normal guy, so Dukas. Savalis. It's kind of dark. Christu. Yeah, we'll just go Christu. Why not? American English, I'm going to stick him with 1. Really doesn't matter. I want him to be a private, because he's, just a civilian, so, one of the next things that I do want to do is I want to right-click on him and edit his loadout. Now, James is not going to have any weapons of any kind, so I'm going to load James press normal, and that's kind of the loadout that I got him doing. He has a press hat. He's got the press shirt that says press on the back, just kind of your generic press guy. So okay, now he's wearing that. If you don't know, if you've never been inside the loadout thing here, this is the virtual armory, so you can give him, whatever you want. And you can tell all the modded stuff because of the puzzle piece. and it tells you what thing it's loaded out to be, or ported to. I'm going to try not to use any of the Apex stuff on this one. If you want me to use the Apex stuff, you know, let me know, because I know I didn't have it for a while, and it was kind of hard to play scenarios that I wanted to play, because not everybody can, you know, just run out and buy it. So I'm going to try not to use any of the extras. I'm going to use the DLC because anybody can download it. So we have James here. Let me go ahead and copy him. Make sure he can paste. Okay, he does paste, and I'm going to delete him. Let's put James upstairs in his apartment. Too high. Which is going not over. Wait. Yeah, he can come over here or over here. So this entire place is going to be his, but I'm going to put him inside his office area. So he's going to be in here. So the very first thing we want to do is we want it to automatically pop up a thing on here that tells you that Rick wants to meet you at the United Serrani Press Headquarters, or whatever it's called, whatever we want to call it. So the very first thing we're going to do here is we're going to set down a trigger, and it's going to be set to true, and I want to sync it. I want to set the trigger owner as James. So automatically it will trigger to him. It is not going to be repeatable, and nothing's really going to happen. So I'm going to call this one, I'm just going to call it Trig1, or TRG1, so for Trig1. On activation, so it's going to automatically pop up as soon as you start. So what I want to happen is I want to go James hint C. Hang on, I gotta remember how to do this. Hint C hello. Let's try that. Let's start it, and I'll show you what pops up. Hopefully it worked. Or it'll throw an error. It threw an error. Type object expected string. So okay, so whenever you come in here, the very first thing you have to do is enter the title of the hint that you want to pop up. So this right here, I'm going to call it text message, or text from Rick. Then you type in hint C, and then you type in the text you need to type in. So I'm going to put like, actually, you know what? We could make this a little bit more realistic here. Trigger effects, sounds. Do we have a phone ringing?
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm alright.
I leave tomorrow.
You leave tomorrow?
Probably.
Sorry about that, guys. That was my brother. So, back to where we were. So in here, what you have to do is you have to type in the title first. So just for an example, I'm going to put title. Then type in hint C, and then the string that you want to be shown. So I want it to be, this is a message. Now, I don't think I want it to be set for that. I think I just want it to be synced to him. Okay, so this is what pops up, and basically what it is it's this, and it forces you to press continue. Press continue and you can continue. And then in the top right you can see where it says title, this is a message. And since this is a single player game, or since this is single player, it's going to, it doesn't really matter about who can see it and who can't. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to set down a vehicle for our character, which I think I'm going to set it right over here. So let's go into civilian, go into cars, and this is from the, I think it's Stark Industries. It has a bunch of different cars in here. And by a lot, I mean it has a lot of different types of vehicles. And I'm going to take the guy out of it, where it says place vehicles with crew. And I'm going to give him just some normal car, nothing too fancy. I mean, you can set down a Lamborghini if you wanted to, but let's give him a full one. No, that's Apex. I don't want Apex. And it's a semi. Nope. Could just give him an off-road. Give him a GTR. Pagani. That wouldn't be too bad. It's a two-door. Porsche. Renault. Renault. Nope. I'm just looking. A Suburban? Ew, definitely not. Trans Am, a truck, a Volkswagen, the Who car. Give him a motorcycle even. Let's go to the very top. See what's inside here. Got Nitro Black. Nope. Orel. So we got the Agora. Clio. Oh crap. Okay, so let's go back to cars. Let's find something that's decent but not like overwhelming. Could give him a BMW. Not like that. I don't want a wing on it. A BMW M6, that'll work. Let's come in here, go into the settings for it. Let's go down to equipment storage, presence, special states, I guess it's got to be red, but I don't want it to be, I want it to be black. So BMW M6 Neue. And I'm going to place it right here. It's kind of his own little parkway. And he's up here. So basically, all that's going to happen so far is that this trigger is going to send basically a text message to him, or to the player, and it's going to tell you, so we're going to name the title text from Rick, hint C, and then it's going to say, I need you to meet me at the office as soon as you can. Okay, and then I want it to wait. Let's have it wait 10 seconds. Nah, I better make it 5. Give you time to read it, and then click OK. And on deactivation, or after this trigger is complete, we're going to set our first mission down, or our first waypoint, which will be under System, Modules, Intel. Now, we're gonna start creating a task. So we go to Create Task, set one of those down, and then we need to set down 2 task states. Now, and also we want to set down another trigger. Okay, so this trigger, I'm going to call it TRG2, and what I wanted to do is I want it to check to see if James is in his car. So let's name his car. We're going to call it James Car. Haha, really creative here. And what we want to do is we want to the condition, which is a true or false statement, and we want to say James in James' car. So now it's going to check to see if James is in James's car. Okay, but I shouldn't have gone over that yet. Let's create the task first. So we have a created task here. Let's call this one TSK1 for task 1. I want it to be synchronized objects only, which is the owner. So I'm going to go ahead and sync James to it. That means James is going to be the only person to get this task. So if, like, say it was multiplayer, nobody else would get it. The task ID, I want it to be 1. It's just a number. This is how we're going to get it in order. Title is going to be the title is going to be okay, let me rephrase this. Okay, so the title is the one that's going to pop up for the user to see. It's not going to see, you're not going to see the description unless you go into the map and then go to task. So we're not even going to worry about that because of what we're going to do. So get in your vehicle. We're not going to worry about the description. We're not going to worry about the destination. Which I'll go over this stuff here in a little bit. So destination is going to be the module position, and it's going to be created. And then always visible, disabled. That means that it's created on, or it's going to be visible or not. So if I have it on all the time, every task we create is going to be visible at all times. So I'm going to leave it like this. And because the marker is going to be wherever this module is, I'm going to place it inside this vehicle. Okay? So it's going to let you know that you need to go to that specific spot. And actually, let's scoot these over. Make sure you have room to get in. Now, what needs to happen is it's going to we have to assign the task to James. So the very first one we don't need this one here. Or we don't need either one of them. We can just assign it. No, we don't want to do that yet. Okay, so, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I didn't want to copy it. I wanted to... Okay. So now what we need to do is take the set task state, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it TSK1 assign, and we're going to do for assigned right there. And what we have to do here is we need to right click on it and sync it to the create task module. We also need to sync it to this trigger, because what's going to happen is after this counts down for 5 seconds, it's going to activate the assigned task, which is going to activate this task. Okay, now what's going to happen is we're going to create another set task, which is going to be task 1 succeeded, and I'm going to state is going to be succeeded. This needs to be synced to the create task module as well, because when this says that, hey, this task is succeeded, then it's going to pop this up as succeeded, and it's going to put that little check mark in the map menu. But now we need to figure out what's going to trigger the succeeded module. Keyword trigger. That's where the condition comes in. So we're going to sync the trigger to the set task state, and it will be succeeded. We don't need anything else. We just want him to come down, get inside of it, and succeeded. Okay, so let's test this out. So the first thing that pops up is the text message, or the text message never pops. Oh, there it goes. I need you to meet me at the office as soon as you can, which paused the whole game. Continue. Get in your vehicle, task assigned. So now we're going to go downstairs. Can I shut these? Nope, doors are always open. That sucks. And then see, you have the little task marker right there. That's under the car. So let's get in. Task completed. Get in your vehicle. There we are. So that right there is the basis of how to create a task. Now after this, what I need to do, what I'm gonna do, is I want to, when it succeeds, I also want to create another one, which will be in the next video. So that's it for this one. So what we covered here is we covered how to make a pop-up screen. For instance, if I would have just done, let's copy this, if I would have just done hint, or let's see, hint, I think that's how you do it, hint, come here, and I'll show you what this does. If you just do hint, if you watch in the top right hand corner, nothing happened. Or after 5 seconds, it pops up with come here. So actually, what actually needs to happen here isn't what I did. So what I want to do is I want to delete this trigger here. So we do need to change a couple things. So this right here, the difference between the hint and the hint C is the pop-up screen that you have to hit continue. So if I go ahead and paste this in here, which is going to pop, which is going to set the trigger owner as him, which will pop it up. After this happens, which this should happen within 2 seconds of the game starting. So that's going to happen within 2 seconds of the game starting. The next trigger that I need to happen is going to be just nothing. It's just going to be true. And after 5 seconds, we better make it a little bit longer so you have time to read it. So this one should actually be task 2, or trigger 2. So let's change this one to trigger 3. We're going to call this one, let's see, TRG. This is going to be assigned task. So trigger assigned task. This one is going to be trigger succeed, or task TSK succeed. So we're actually going to give these names now. This one is going to be called TRG text from Rick. So you're going to get the text from Rick after 2 seconds of the game starting. Then, after 8 seconds of the game starting, you're going to get a task. Which, what we can do is we can just sync the task assign to this trigger. So let's check this out. You don't actually have to set that task to the player. So you get the task, I need you to meet me at the office. The game's paused, so continue. Then after 8 seconds from the game starting, 6 seconds after you get that, you get a task. So 6 seconds after you get the text message, after you click continue, you're going to get the task. Then you're going to get in the car. Task completed. So I hope we all learned something on this video. In the next one, we're going to do more tasks, and we're going to actually do some stuff with another AI unit. And for purposes of testing only, I'm going to kind of work backwards on it. So, as always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and request, and I will see you in the next video.